Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports. All right, everyone, welcome back to an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. We love having you here, and I can't wait to get into this episode. Man, this week has been a week, man. It has been a journey from last recording to this one, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I feel like I've worked, 100 hours since last we spoke. It's insane.
For me, it's not even like work itself isn't that bad. It's just everything else outside of work, man. Being back in school again kind of sucks, and this class is not fun. I don't enjoy it. I've never been a big fan of physics, and physics itself wasn't terrible. I liked force within physics better than motion, and this is dynamics, so it's all motion within physics, and it's like, damn it, it's my worst part of physics. Condensed a semester into 12 weeks. This is terrible.
Jesus.
It's terrible.
It's funny. I hated physics, and I never was good at it. But I love math, and I was really good at it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't understand why physics just didn't compute in my mind. But, it just didn't. I never caught it.
Especially when it's nothing but high-end math.
Yeah. you think.
Right? I don't know. Like I said, forces I'm fine with. It just, for some reason, the motion part of physics is what always threw me and had issues with. I don't know. I can't explain it, but something about with motion and the stuff and that it just gave me issues. So, but yeah, it's been a thing, man. I took work off tomorrow just to catch up on homework from last week and then this week's stuff. So
yeah, it sucks.
We're playing catch up.
Yeah.
I hate having to do that. But enough about me complaining about my schoolwork and life. How's your guys' life been?
Yeah.
Tom, how you been? You haven't really said much yet.
Oh, man.
You must be going on easy street comparing.
No, not even. I got assigned 3 projects to do simultaneously, and now I just got to have 3 different books open to keep all my stuff straight so I'm not crossing information into other projects.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are always fun. Make sure you keep your projects straight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Reminds me of one of the episodes of, I don't know if you guys ever watched Home Improvement when you were kids.
Oh,
Yep.
All the time.
Loved it.
All the time.
One of the episodes, Brad got a paper route, and it was one of those morning routes, so he had to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he started getting tired, and it was all of us, homework started blending together, and Randy comes in, and he's like, I'm just, my homework, man, it's all kind of starting to kind of just flow together. He's like, yeah, I kind of figured that out when you started off your book report with the Battle of Waterloo equals 35x plus 2. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. That's great.
All right. So, what are we going to move into first here, Tom?
Let's move along to the NBA Game of the Week.
Here comes a new challenge!
All right. This game was Clippers-Knicks in New York City. Madison Square Garden's always fun to watch a game in. And if the crowd gets into it, it makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
In this game, the Knicks started off on fire. The Knicks came out just guns blazing. They went on just a run to start.
Yeah.
And it really felt like we were going to get kind of a repeat of last week's, where I thought it was going to might be a blowout.
right
in the first quarter because the Clippers just didn't feel like they could do anything.
Yeah.
And the Knicks couldn't miss. Like, couldn't miss. I think, like, Karl Anthony Towns started off, I think, like 5 for 6 and like 2 for 2 from 3-point and just was draining everything. Team looked good. Like, they were just moving, had easy shots, easy baskets, cutting. It looked really nice.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Clippers fought, though. They made it a game.
Yep.
They really made it a game by the halftime. They were only down 1 after being down 14 in the first quarter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was rooting for the Knicks the whole game because he got me watching a freaking game with Ben Simmons in it, man. Like, as soon as I found out he was on the Clippers, like, I guess I knew he was on the Clippers, but, like, it didn't compute until he took the court. And I was just like, God damn it. I hate Ben Simmons. And, like, so I'm rooting for the Knicks the whole game, and they pull ahead in the beginning, and then, like, the second quarter just looks sloppy, and then the Knicks come back in the third, and then they take the victory in the fourth. And if I had been rooting for, the Clippers. If I had been rooting for the Clippers, it would have been a great game to watch. But I just was, like, getting more and more disappointed as I watched. And, like, I'm happy Ben Simmons only got 2 points, and it was, like, just tapping in someone else's shot that happened to miss. So, like, fuck that guy. But at the same time, like, it was a cool comeback to watch. I just wish it had gone the other way in the end.
It's funny. I mean, that's really about the only way that Simmons can score anymore is about a layup or a tip in. Like,
yeah.
They always talk about in baseball when dudes get the yips and just can't perform anymore. That's Simmons, man.
Yeah.
He's just mentally just done.
Right.
I don't think he really has it to score. I mean, he really didn't before that much anyway.
Yeah.
But now, like, I mean, he barely even played. I think he only played like 10, 12 minutes the entire game.
Yeah. I think he was like the lowest amount of people who had significant time in the game.
Yeah.
Like, there were some guys that had like 45 seconds or something like that. Other than
garbage time.
Yeah. Other than those guys, you had the lowest amount of time.
Yeah. And, I mean, because they just got him, like, right around the trade deadline. I think they picked him up off of, they picked him up off free agency because he got bought out of his contract. Because he was still on that massive max deal that Philly gave him.
Yeah.
So this was the last year of it, and Brooklyn bought him out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's been on that deal for 5 years, just sitting.
Jesus. And I mean, he's not good, right? I mean, he doesn't seem to be.
No, he's not. He's been okay at best, but he's not worth that much money anymore.
Good.
And it's sad that, like, it all started when a dude that's 6'1" punked him out.
Yeah. I mean, I actually blame Philly. Like, we're a hard fan base to play for, and he just couldn't handle it. And, like, that's what it is. I mean, I think that's exactly what happened to Carson Wentz, too. Like, he just couldn't handle playing for Philly. As soon as you start losing and the crowd turns on you, like, you've got to have thick skin. Otherwise,
you got to have that mental fortitude to play in Philly, man. You really do. It's probably, besides for Boston, I mean, Boston and Philly are probably the two hardest places to play in, honestly.
Yeah, you're probably right.
See that,
and maybe New York, maybe like for certain teams.
Yeah, for certain teams.
Like if you're on the Yankees and the Yankees suck, I'm sure that's hard to play with that fan base.
Yeah.
Every other fan base in New York is kind of used to losing at this point, so probably not.
See, that needs to be part of the package you get when you start a team in Philadelphia is just a binder that says, "Welcome to Philadelphia. You're gonna get booed."
Here's how to cope.
Welcome to Philly. Prepare mentally.
Right.
just a heads up.
My favorite Eli Manning quote of all time is when he was like, "I'll never forget the feeling of being flipped off by a 7-year-old girl. I hate playing in Philly."
Yep, that's Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I gotta say, my favorite part of this game wasn't actually part of the game, but rather a commercial that the NBA played in between quarters, and it was the Charles Barkley blimp against the Magic Johnson blimp. And
how did I miss this?
oh, you did? Oh, it's great. So it's these two giant blimps that are just basically versions of Charles Barkley and Magic Johnson, and they're like fighting each other. And the Magic Johnson blimp attacks the Charles Barkley blimp with the power of his championship rings. And it immediately cuts to the crew of the Charles Barkley blimp and says, "What do? We don't have any rings." And it cuts to Barkley, goes, "Yeah, I get it."
That's great.
I may not have seen that. I mean, there might be different commercials for depending. I mean, just depending. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I saw that commercial. I laughed so hard I fell out of my chair.
Oh man, that's great.
That's hilarious.
Have you
wow,
seen...
even in commercials they keep making fun of Barkley.
Right? Have you seen the Charles Barkley with the Chuck GPT?
Yeah.
I want one so bad. Like, I want one in my house that I could talk to.
Just download it and put it on your phone.
No, I want it to look like that. It's got to look like Charles Barkley sitting on my counter. He's got to talk in his voice exactly, too. I need it.
I want a Chuck and a Shaq GPT.
That's great.
Have them interact with each other.
Be one of the most hilarious things ever.
But moving on, Adam, who do you have us watching next week?
Alright, so next week we are going to watch the Golden State Warriors versus the Houston Rockets. And this game will air Sunday, April 6th.
Speaking of Sunday, April 6th, I'm going to be in Northeast Philly watching AEW's pay-per-view.
Nice!
And,
On Sunday, April 6th, I will be hanging out with my mom for her birthday.
well, happy birthday, Mom.
So yeah.
To close out the NBA section, I will just say that Tom Thibodeau, the coach of the Knicks, looks like the stool pigeon of a bad mafia movie.
He really needs to just shave his head. His hair has gotten so thin, he really needs to shave and just go with it.
But moving on to the next section of the podcast, many owners in sports are absolutely awful owners. Some because of poor business practices, other because of poor behavior, which raises the question, who is a bad owner in sports? Adam, I kind of feel like this hits a little close to home for you, so why don't you start us off?
All right. Fair enough. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, I don't know, it's one of those things where I feel like in the bottom of his heart, Jerry Jones really does want to put on a good football team. The problem is Jerry Jones gets in his own way of putting on a good football team. Like, I feel like if he could get out of his own way and just let go of his ego and hire a general manager and a vice president of football and just let those guys do their job and put a team together, then this team would be in contention more often than they have been. As a businessman, the dude knows what he's doing. I mean, there's a reason that the Cowboys are the most valuable sports franchise in the world.
Right.
And it's because of Jerry's marketing. And so I can't take that away from him. As much as you may hate him, it's there for a reason. The man knows how to promote and put his business out there. But as a football person, he's absolutely atrocious. He struck lightning like a few times back in the late 80s and 90s and built a good team. And he had that run, and it's never happened again, and he won't give it up. Because he did it once, and he thinks he can do it again. He can't. And it's been it's been over 30 years at this point. It's like, that's the biggest issue with Jerry for me, honestly. It's just the not having a general manager and not giving up when you failed for 30 consecutive years.
Yeah, I don't get it, because it's like, I feel like Jerry Jones, the owner, wants to put on a good football team, but Jerry Jones, the general manager, has absolutely no idea how to, and a massive fucking ego that, like, he can't get out of. And it's like, if you would just admit to yourself that you don't know what you're doing, like, life would be a lot easier for you.
It almost kind of feels like and it almost also feels kind of like somehow it feels like the Chip Kelly experiment in Philly, where it's like he feels like he's the system, but he's not even a coach.
Right.
But somehow he's the system that makes the Cowboys run.
Right.
And as long as he gets guys that fits his imaginary system that he's not a coach of and doesn't think of, then he'll win. It's like, it's so weird.
Isn't that how it works, though? If as long as you have all the right toys in your toy box, then all the kids are going to want to come play with you? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that how it works? And then you're the coolest kid in town?
And the right toys in the toy box for Dallas is money.
Right. I mean,
that's what it is.
I will say, though, that I think that Adam hit the nail on the head a couple episodes back when he said that Jerry Jones is the Vince McMahon of football. And it's because Jerry loves a spectacle. He loves headlines being about the Cowboys. For better or worse, he loves the headlines. And I think that is why the Cowboys this year have the highest paid quarterback and the highest paid non-quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And pretty soon they're probably going to have the second or third highest non-paid quarterback, because I'm pretty sure Micah Parsons is going to get close to, if not the same money as Myles Garrett did. Honestly,
it's
going to be.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about.
It's going to be close because he's due for an extension, and it's going to be close to what Myles Garrett got. I guarantee it's going to be close.
That's who I was talking about, was Micah Parsons. He is the highest non-paid quarterback in the league right now because of the deal he struck yesterday afternoon. I forget.
Oh, did he just sign it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know they signed one already.
But it was like ridiculous money. He got paid more money in 1 year than he did for the first 4 years of his rookie contract rather.
Because, unfortunately, Jerry waits too long to re-sign guys. And he waits till the last minute, and then you get guys with Myles Garrett that get these insane contracts, and then he's got to match it.
Right.
Because they draft good players. You get good players like Dak and like Micah Parsons. You draft good guys like DeMarcus Lawrence. You get good guys like Trayvon Diggs. You get good players. You just are stupid with your cap and don't sign them at the right times and overpay guys.
You know, it's kind of funny, though. It sounds like the problem is his business acumen, not his football acumen.
It's both. It's his business and timing. Like, he just waits too long to do shit. Like, I don't know why he waits, because it's like, what, you think by waiting the price is going to go down?
Yeah, not for talent, man.
Especially not for a quarterback. Like, I don't know why he drew out Dak's re-signing in that contract for so long.
It's the Daffy Duck tattoo. It's like, I don't know if I can resign a guy with a Daffy Duck tattoo.
Micah Parsons signed a just over $24 million contract for 1 year this year.
Wow.
Oh, did he franchise? Is it the franchise tag?
It doesn't say that.
Because it sounds almost like a franchise tag if it's just for 1 year.
Yeah, it's just for 1 year. He becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2026.
I mean, he's going to make his money and get out and then go get a ring somewhere else.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
But I love that he's getting $24 million for this year, and if you add up all 4 years of his rookie contract, it only adds up to 17.
Jesus, that's insane.
I mean, rookie contracts aren't... That's kind of what rookie contracts are designed to do, though.
That's true. So, you're right.
It's funny that we kind of feel like $17 million is ripping somebody off.
You're right.
I mean, it's not wrong. It is kind of ripping them off, but, like, it's kind of crazy we think that.
I so badly want to be ripped off that much.
Right? Yeah, me too. Can I please have these problems?
Yeah, right. I wish I had those kind of problems. All right. So, I mean, yeah, that's an NFL example of a bad owner. I mean, what do you have, Pete? I mean, there's obviously we have a lot of other examples of bad owners throughout NFL.
Yeah, so luckily, or oddly enough, I stayed local, and I got a little bit of a typed up presentation because I wasn't going to remember any of this, so forgive me for reading. But in 2011, two men named Josh Harris and Dave Blitzer came together to form Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment. They took this newly formed company and spent $2 $280 million to purchase a basketball franchise that had been to the playoffs for 2 out of the last 4 years, just to lose in the first round of the playoffs, sadly. This basketball team was, of course, the Philadelphia 76ers. Fret not, Philadelphians, because that year the HBSE purchased the 76ers. We made it past the first round and into the conference finals. But then, the following year, the head coach, Doug Collins, leads the team to his worst record with him in charge, finishing just 14 games under 500. So obviously he's out of here, but not just him, but that Rod Thorne guy, we got to get him out too, right? So now we got our new coach, Brett Brown, and he needs a new GM or executive or whatever they call it in basketball. So who else do you hire other than Sam Hinkie? So what do you do the same year that you fire your head coach and GM and get a new one? You go out and you buy a freaking hockey team in New Jersey, of all places. And then the... So what's Hinkie do? He tells us to trust the process. And what is the process, you say? In 2013, we finished with just 19 wins. Hey, that year we drafted Joel Embiid to wait 2 years for him to play. In 2014, we only managed 18 wins. But wait, there's some stroke of brilliance. In 2015, we won 10 games. And with that 10-game victory lap, we drafted big boy Ben Simmons. And you know what HPSE did? They fired Hinkie, right? Because he got fired for the process and being so terrible. Well, technically not fired, because in his 13-page resignation letter, they cited the changes in the organization had lacked his confidence in his ability. I'd say that's pretty much who got fired. But instead of focusing on basketball like they should have, no, they went out and bought an English soccer team the same freaking year. So now it's 2016, Hinkie's gone, Joel Embiid can finally play, and we only managed to win 28 games that season. And now, all of the process... Now, I'll give the process one latitude. The Sixers did go on a 6-year playoff run, having nothing but losses to show in the semifinals for one, and that was it. Now... I know this is probably more about the GM than it's the owner, but the point I'm trying to make is that the indifference of HBSE has led to the second longest playoff drought in Sixers history, and such a bad record that it was only topped by our 9-win season in 1972. But where are the Sixers, you ask, right now? Tanking. That's right, we're right back in the goddamn process so we can protect our draft pick. Ownership has allowed a culture of losing to permeate between the walls of the Wells Fargo, and they have run off all of their fans. So much that you can't actually give tickets away for free to get people to show up. I remember in high school with Allen Iverson, and the whole city was excited for sports of basketball. We make it the playoffs damn near every year. We got all the way to the finals in 2000. Those days are gone, and I, the least knowledgeable person of basketball ever, blame the ownership.
Those process years were hard to watch. They really were. Like it was bad, man. And it's one of those things where I remember watching a lot of it and watching NBA at that point. It's just I felt so bad because you had Embiid, but again, he didn't play for like 3 years, 2 years after that because he had knee injury problems.
Right.
And now he has knee injury problems again, which he's getting surgery next week.
Right.
So it's like, he's a really good player. He's one of the best in the league when he's healthy. But it's like, the problem is he's never healthy.
Never healthy.
And when he is, it's like when you don't need him to be healthy. I'm like, cool, you're healthy in the middle of the season.
Yeah,
I need you healthy in the playoffs.
He's too busy chasing gold medals and MVP races to worry about winning a championship or even a round in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean he was playing. Like I said, he was playing last year when they lost in the first round. Mm-hmm. He was there.
Yeah,
he did try as best as he could at that point. So I will give him credit for that. But it sucks to see a franchise that was highly regarded, then for almost 7 to 8 years now, it was a laughingstock for a while until they got going with Embiid and Simmons.
Yeah. And then Simmons turned out to be a bust, and now it's like it's time to just sell low on Embiid at this point because he's not getting any higher. And I mean, you hear about it on the radio all the time. They're like, Paul George is probably going to suck next year. Embiid is probably going to suck next year. Like,
if Embiid even plays next year.
If he even plays, yeah, it's like, it's awful. And I blame the owners because they're the only thing that's been consistent through it all. They bought the team, and like, yeah, we had a little bit of a run there, but we also went on our second longest playoff drought we've ever had, and all the fans were run off to the point where you have to assign me a basketball game to watch every week just to get me to watch it. Like, that's how much they've run off their fans.
Right? I mean, hopefully next season they'll actually be decent. We can actually like enjoy watching some Philly games.
Right?
Hopefully. I hope so. I mean, basketball has had that. I mean, the Clippers are the same way. The Clippers were worse than Philly was.
Yeah.
I mean, you had their owner. He's not the owner anymore, but like one of their previous owner before Steve Ballmer bought him. Now, Donald Sterling was their owner from 1982 to 2014, and in that 32 years, they had 5 winning seasons.
Jesus.
Like, that's how bad, because he didn't want to pay players.
Yeah.
And, like, I was able to find their payrolls, and I can only find it from, like, the current seasons back to 1990. And 14 times from... It went from 2014 to 1990. They were bottom 5 14 times in that time frame in payroll for the league.
Jesus.
And 6 of those 14, they were dead last in payroll because he refused to pay players.
But
then it was also known that he was notoriously racist, too. Which was ironic in a majority of black league.
Right.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I mean, it did for 32 years.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many bonuses he was able to give to himself for saving money, you know?
Yeah, right?
Rich people love doing that shit.
I'm not sure how much money he actually made because nobody went to the games. So, like, I mean, he may got something. But it's like, I mean, it's sad to see some of these guys, and they finally were able to get him out, and then he was ousted in 2014, and then the NBA took over for a little bit till they could find an owner, and then Steve Ballmer is the owner now, and he's just putting money into this team hand over fist to where they actually bought the old Forum where the Lakers used to play back in like the 80s and 90s and all that.
Yeah.
And they redid that to now that's the Clippers arena. And everything, cool. And it from what I've heard, it's really, really cool. And they put like just billions into it. Like he put a shit ton of money into renovating that arena and everything.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to share arena with the Lakers anymore.
Right.
So
they just take the Lakers' old stadium.
Yeah. Well, the Lakers.
We don't want to share anymore. We'll take your hand-me-downs.
I mean, it's already there. Why not? They already are the hand-me-down for the Lakers and for the LA anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because they came from San Diego. They used to be the San Diego Clippers.
Okay.
So, and they were, I think before they were San Diego, they were the Buffalo Braves, and then they moved out to San Diego. So, I mean, the team's not originally from LA to begin with, so.
Poor San Diego, man. They lose every team.
Well, I mean, a lot of teams in the NBA have moved around. Like the Los Angeles Lakers weren't originally from Los Angeles. They were from Minnesota.
Yeah.
They were the Minneapolis Lakers. That's why they were called the Lakers.
That makes sense.
Land of 1,000 or 10,000 lakes.
Yeah.
So there was a guy in my high school who one time tried to argue with me that the Philadelphia 76ers were called the 76ers because Philadelphia was on the 76th line of latitude. And I'm like, I'm not even going to look at a map to validate that. I'm like, you're such an idiot. Like, it's so clearly 1776. And it was so funny. He was like, no, dude, that's what it is. I'm like,
I mean, maybe, but I would put more money on the fact that I'm pretty sure it's because of 1776.
I'm not even going to bother checking to see what line of latitude we're on, though.
I was going to say, I think I'm not even from Philadelphia, and I know that's the breeze.
Something that I found that I came across when I was doing research on this. Did you guys know? I'd heard about this, but did you guys know that every year the NFLPA does a report card for teams and owners?
No.
As like the players put out and everything.
Yeah,
I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
The players rate and score, and you can look it up. It's on the NFLPA's website. So I went on there and I was kind of looking this up since it kind of was on topic for this show.
Mm-hmm.
I want you guys. I want to see if you guys can guess the bottom 5 owners as voted on by the players in the NFLPA for as of last season.
Bottom 5.
Yeah. So we're gonna do bottom 5. We're gonna do top 5 too. But we're just gonna start with bottom 5 for right now.
I am going to say the Carolina Panthers.
They are the second worst.
Oh, really? Someone beat them. Okay.
Yes.
What about Jacksonville Jaguars?
No.
Surprising.
Yes. There are a couple teams on the bottom 5 I was surprised with, I'll be honest with you.
How about the Cowboys? Are they on there?
They are not on there.
Wow. That's got to be the money.
Cleveland Browns.
The owner was not on there. As a team ranking, they would have been, but I ranked these just for the owner ranks.
Oh, okay.
So by owner, the Cleveland Browns are not on the list.
What about the Colts?
Not
Says-
Ursay. Not Ursay.
Although I will say, I did look up our each individual teams, and of our 3 teams, the Colts did get the lowest grade, but not by much.
Oh.
It was close.
No,
So
Quick side note, we'll come back to the trivia question, but this exercise gave me a great appreciation for the Colts owner Jim Irsay, because I had him on this list of bad owners, and then he just kept getting pushed down the list as is like, wow, your cocaine addiction is nothing compared to some of these assholes.
right. So we got. All right. So of the 4 remaining teams, 3 of them are in the AFC.
Okay. Surprise.
3 are in the AFC.
Yes. And 2 of them are in the same division in the AFC.
Oh, okay. Oh, how about the Raiders?
No.
Oh, dang. See, I got to associate bad ownership to losing, so I'm trying to stay away
Right,
from.
and I'm surprised you haven't associated one of these teams with losing because they've done nothing but in the last 40 years.
I said the Browns.
I know. There's another one that's on the list too.
Cincinnati?
No,
No, they've done nothing to lose. Houston?
they haven't been around for 40 years.
Oh.
Well, I guess technically they have.
Robert Kraft. The Patriots.
Patriots, yes, they
Patriots.
are on the list. They're number 4.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
I was kind of surprised a little bit. They were bottom 5.
I
And
mean,
really, when I read that, I was like, huh. So really, the entire Patriots' success is all hinged on Tom Brady. Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
what
It
about
wasn't Belichick. It wasn't Robert Kraft. It was Tom Brady and Tom Brady alone, basically.
Yep. What about the Jets?
The Jets
You
are
beat
number
me
1
to
for
it.
the worst
You
owner in
beat
the
me to
NFL.
I was just
Yeah.
about to say that. Did we get all 5, or do we have one more?
We have 2 more.
2 more.
One of which really, really surprised me, and that's the other AFC team. And it's more of a Midwest team.
Broncos.
Midwest.
Damn.
Colorado's not in the Midwest.
It's in the middle.
Like,
That beat the Titans?
Yeah. it is not the Titans. I will say, I'll give you, they're in the AFC North. They're not, and you've already said the Browns and the Bengals, so you got 2 left.
Is it the Steelers?
It is the Steelers.
I was going to say, it can't be Baltimore.
See, I was surprised because every time I hear ex-players and ex-coaches and stuff, they always talk about the Steelers and the organization.
Yeah, isn't that Rooney?
I was really, the Rooney family. I was
Yeah.
really surprised to see that they were the 5th worst
Wow.
voted 5th worst ranked owner of the entire NFL by the players.
Dang.
Too busy being the international ambassador to Ireland or whatever.
All right, so our last bottom 5 team is an NFC team, and they are out west.
Out west, NFC.
Okay, so we'll start at the
Seattle.
top. We go Seattle, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals.
is the Cardinals.
Okay.
Cardinals. You went all the way down the list.
I was just going to
All
say.
So your bottom 5 owners, according to the 2025 NFLPA report card, is the Jets at number from worst to least worst. The Jets, your Panthers, the Cardinals, the Patriots, and the Steelers are the bottom 5 worst owners in the NFL.
See, 3 of those make sense. The other 2, I don't understand.
The Cardinals and this, like I said, the Patriots kind of surprised me. I didn't expect them to be bottom 5, but the Cardinals and the Steelers really threw me off when I found that.
Yeah, Cardinals and Steelers. I kind of saw Robert Kraft on that list because he's had some issues. But I've like almost never hear anything good about the Bengals. I was really expecting the Bengals to be on this list.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked the Bengals aren't on it.
I've never heard anything good about Mike Brown and the Bengals, like as an owner of the Bengals. So, all right, we'll move over to the top 5 owners. So, top 5 owners according to the NFLPA Players Report card.
Top 5. Okay, so
Jeffrey Lurie.
I was gonna you beat me to it.
No.
I disagree with this list.
Not even close.
He's number 1, baby. Let's go.
Maybe not outside of Philly, in Camden.
Who would be a number 1 owner?
The Chiefs?
No. So this is actually
I got one. Is this one of those bullshit because it's Green Bay and it's because they...
No, Green Bay's not on the list. Or they're not in the top 5. Green Bay came in at the CEO of the Packers came in at number 11.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be some nonsense that the public owns them, so the public is...
No, they did technically rank it. They ranked the CEO of the Packers.
Okay.
So he comes in at number 11, but...
All right.
Tom actually already mentioned one of the teams.
Oh, did I?
Yes, you did, in thinking they were one of the worst.
Cleveland?
No.
Can't be Jacksonville.
The Raiders?
No. Nope.
Oh.
They were up there, but they were not top 5. Raiders were I think number 10 or 12, something like that. Raiders were high.
Broncos?
Same.
Broncos, number 4.
I was just going back. Who did I say?
Yeah, Broncos. The Broncos were number 4, actually.
No kidding. Wow. Okay.
Yep. So we have one more AFC team, and then 2 more AFC teams and 2 more NFC teams. So
it's none of our teams, right?
no, none of our teams. So our team. So I'll give our team. So it's actually kind of funny. So the Eagles ranked highest of all of them at 16.
Damn.
That is a travesty.
Dallas was in the middle of the 3 of us at 18.
Damn.
And Indy was 20. So I thought this was hilarious. At 16, 18, and 20. I'm like, well,
poor Ursay.
at 18, I'm like, I honestly thought it would be a little bit lower, but I'll take 18.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, 16 is it's dead last at the top half.
it's literally the middle. Out of 32, you're legitimately in the middle.
Right, yeah, dead last at the top
Yeah.
half.
Well,
Still
honestly,
top
when I saw
half,
Colts
baby.
when I saw Colts at 20, I'm like, yeah, it's actually kind of about where I was expecting it. Between the 18 to 21 is where I was expecting to find the Colts somewhere.
Is this going to be one of those shenanigans where it's because they're a shit team, they love the owner because he doesn't fire them?
I mean, that's going to be Dallas, because no matter how bad Dallas is, the owner never gets rid of people. Pittsburgh's that way, though, too, honestly. Pittsburgh, I mean, even when Cowher was there, they had some bad years and they never got rid of anybody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say that they just don't get rid of people. I mean, from when I was reading this, a lot of it was they rated them high because the players felt like that the owners created a positive atmosphere, that they put money back into the team, and that they actually felt like they want to and try to actually create a winning team to win games and win a championship. Now, some of these teams aren't championship teams, but they feel like they're actually trying to put a team together they actually want to win a championship.
So that makes me think Detroit right away.
Detroit is not on this list.
What about Tampa? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was going to say Tampa Bay.
Tampa is not in here, but another team in their division is.
Oh, man.
Falcons?
Yes. Falcons were actually number 2.
Okay.
So we have one more NFC team and then 2 AFC teams left. And the number 1 team actually surprised me, to be honest with you. They had success, not within the last 40 years, but they have had team success.
In the last 40 years.
So puts us
40, 50 years, something like that.
the Packers?
It's been a while.
We already talked about the Packers. Never mind.
The 49ers?
No, not the 40.
That'd be 30 years, not 40.
Man, I can't math that fast with years. If I can remember it, it was 10 years ago, all right? That's
All right,
it.
so this team was successful. Okay, actually, I think it was 50. This team was successful back in the 70s.
Vikings.
Oh, the
Vikings, yes, are number 3. That wasn't who I was going with, but the Vikings are number 3 on the list.
Oh.
the Dolphins?
Dolphins are number 1, yes.
Oh, Buffalo
Okay.
Bills.
They were never successful.
They had 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Losses.
But 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Bills are not on the list. The last team is also in the AFC, and is in the AFC, and they are out west.
I said Raiders already. I said Broncos already. And Pete said the Kansas City Chiefs, so that leaves the Chargers.
Chargers are number 5.
Chargers. Wow.
So,
I'm
yeah.
surprised. I would have thought the Chargers were not a high-ranked team.
Oh,
I would not have thought that either, to be honest with you, but
my brain hurts.
I'm kind of surprised that Jacksonville wasn't in the bottom 5, too.
me too. As an overall team, they were really close to bottom 5, but apparently with the owner, they feel like he does a decent job, a decent enough job, I guess, but yeah, like
It's that crossover.
because
with
team rankings
AEW.
were different, were a little bit different than the owner rankings. I went specifically based on what the owner himself was ranked at.
Yeah.
So, because yeah, if it was based off team, Browns were dead ass last.
Yeah. I'm sure.
But yeah, so yeah, I just thought that was kind of. I do think this is cool that the NFLPA does this every year, and they, like I said, they put one out every year, and you can, if you go to the NFLPA's website, it's pretty cool. Like, and they'll give you a breakdown too of like how each thing is weighted. So what they do is they have a report card, and it's the categories are treatment of families, food and dining areas, food/dining area, nutritionist, dietitian, locker room, training staff, weight room, strength coaches, team travel, head coaches, and ownership is what they survey everybody in. So, and they take the breakdowns of all that, and each one has a different weight scale to it as well. Ownership being the biggest weight scale to it,
Dude,
and then coach being next.
can you imagine being that guy that's like 22 years old and you just got promoted off the practice squad for the first time and you got to fill out that fucking how do you like the ownership card? Like,
Right.
holy shit. That'd be
So do
so
you-
intimidating.
You want to guess? This would be kind of fun. So, Pete, do you want to guess what Philly's worst rated thing was for their team for this last year?
Ooh.
If you want, I can give you the categories again, too.
Yes, please.
All right, so the categories are treatment of families, food/dining area, nutritionist/dietitian, locker room, training staff, weight room, strength coaches, team travel, head coach, and ownership.
I'm going to go with team travel.
It was, and they got an F.
I bet. That trip to Brazil probably sucked.
Yeah, that was what they got their worst rating on was their team travel for this year.
What I will never forget is that our Super Bowl run and Saquon's 2,000-yard season started with him falling flat on his face the first line play from scrimmage because he couldn't get his footing in Brazil.
Now we blame Brazil for Saquon not breaking the record.
So apparently a big thing is players feel like the team's travel schedule was not very efficient at all and was ranked 26th out of 32 teams.
Yeah.
And players feel like they should also get first-class seats on team flights instead of the coaching staff.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Yeah.
that is 43% of players believe that they have comfortable amount of personal space on team flights, ranking them 30th out of 32.
Wow. I don't know, man. I actually disagree with that one. Like, the players should all ride coach together for team camaraderie, and first class should be management. That's the way the classes were supposed to be set up. I mean, I don't know.
Although I could see an argument for some of the bigger guys being stuck in a coach seat, that may not be the most comfortable ride for the big 900-pound
Offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
I mean, I guess I was assuming that they made reasonable accommodations for guys who are 375 pounds.
Maybe. And honestly, I don't
hope
know how... I mean, I assume that the teams have their own planes, too.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
I know
they don't.
Lori does. Yeah. Or I'm pretty
But
sure.
does the rest of the team?
Yeah, it might just be Lori's plane. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it's just Lori and the coaching staff, and then the rest of the team has to just travel Delta. Like, I mean,
I can't wait to bump into Jalen Hurts waiting in line on Spirit.
he's flying Frontier.
Right?
Oh man! All right, Tom. What's your guess for the Colts? What was their worst ranking breakdown?
That's a tough one. I don't think it would be travel because I think they might have a decent setup for that. It might be food, actually. Can you rattle off the options again? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Treatment of families, food and dining area, nutritionist and dietitian, locker room, training staff, the weight room, strength coaches, team travel, head coach, and ownership.
Oh. Crap. See, part of me feels like it's going to be one of the Mickey Mouse ones, like the wait staff.
The training staff?
Yeah. I think I'll go with training staff.
No, it is not the training staff, actually. It is team travel.
Oh, it is team travel.
Food was second worst, so that you were close when you were looking at food. Team travel, 59% of players believe that they have a comfortable amount, don't have a comfortable amount, so they also rank 28th out of 32 for comfort.
You know what it is? I bet you they just put everyone on a bus because they're in the center of everything. Everywhere's reachable by bus. We're not taking planes.
Oh my god,
I mean, it specifically
that'd be horrible.
It does specifically say team flights, so I would hope they're on planes. Players feel their team's travel schedule is somewhat efficient and rank 22nd out of 32.
Wow.
And players feel like they don't have enough personal space on flights and want more access to first class seating. So basically, same thing as Philly.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Food was actually my second instinct. Was the catering staff.
So the Colts team has ranked the taste of the team's food 6.7 out of 10, ranking 25th out of 32.
Yeah.
They rank the freshness as 7.2, ranking 27th, and they rate the dining area as 7.9, which ranks 23rd out of 32.
Colts, I feel your pain. It's the Indiana food. You got to get used to it.
Strength coaches was an A-, which ranked them 14th out of 32. So
that's good.
Strength head coach was an A, so for head coach they were 11th out of 32 teams. So players actually seem to like the head coach, at least this year.
Yeah. So what team scored the worst for treating your family?
Oh,
the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm not surprised.
They had an F-. F-, yeah, which is scored 0 to 49. So here's what the report said for treatment of families for the Bengals. The Bengals are one of only 3 teams that do not offer daycare during home games, and one of only 10 teams that do not offer a family room during home games.
Oh my god.
Bengals are the only team in the NFL that fails to offer one of those 2 benefits.
Holy cow.
Players rate post-game family area a 4.6 out of 10, ranking them last. And players feel that the team rarely organizes family events, which ranks them last. Players feel there is little to no effort put forth when it comes to organizations' efforts to support their families. One player describes treatment of families as almost disrespectful.
Wow.
It's Family Day at Cincinnati, so we're all going to go to bed again. It's better than this place.
Food also got an F for...
Jesus.
And it's last for food as well.
Oh, I mean, it's Cincinnati. Like, they invented Skyline Chili, so I'm not shocked.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals rate the taste of their team's food a 4.8.
Wow.
Rate the freshness of 5.9 and rate the dining area a 5.9.
Can you imagine serving like world-class athletes food that's a 5.9 in freshness? Like,
Actually,
holy shit! Like these people.
The Bengals players wish that more meals were provided throughout the week. The team does not provide 3 meals a day and is one of only 2 teams in the league that do not do so.
Wow.
That said, food is an area which the team has continued to improve. Last year, the Bengals began offering dinner on Wednesdays, and this year they began offering breakfast for players who come into the facility on their off day for additional training and work.
Okay.
Players hope the team will continue to improve, bringing them closer to the standards met by most NFL teams.
Okay, Bengals. You have to shore this up. This is not even a negotiable. It doesn't
Like,
cost...
that's better than college, man. Like, college does better than that.
I know, right? That's what I was just going to say. We have been there. College is better than the NFL at this point. It costs you, what, maybe $500 to feed a football team.
I would bet more than that. I mean, with all those offensive, defensive linemen, let's be fair here, it probably cost a pretty penny to feed those guys,
Not
but
if
still,
you're only
they can
doing
afford it.
5.9 in freshness,
Yeah.
man. It's just
They can afford
cereal and rice.
it. Right?
I was just thinking through the bill that we used to rack up for the college kitchen. It wasn't much. And we fed like, what, 100 college students? So 100 college
At
students
least.
is probably 53 football players.
Man, that's just sad. Can you imagine? Like, yeah, we'll give you guys breakfast if you come in on your day off.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the Dolphins actually were as a team as a whole, were the number 1 team by the NFL players card.
Nice.
And like their treatment of families was 3rd out of 32, and their food was 1st out of 32. Minnesota was number 1 for family treatment.
So, like, what gets you first place for food? They got, like, Gordon Ramsay preparing in the...
all this says is Miami rates the taste of their food a 9.7 out of 10. The freshness is a 9.7, and the players rate the dining area as a 9.9. That's all it says.
I mean, it's Miami, man. Better be.
Yeah.
Glitz and glamour is what you expect.
Nutritionist and dietitian was an A+, 2nd out of 32. Locker rooms, a 4 out of 32. Training room is 1st. Training staff is 1st. Weight room is 1st. Strength coaches is 1st. Team travel is 1st.
This is all
Head coach
Miami?
is 6th. Yeah, this is all Miami.
Wow.
Ownership is 1st.
Team travel is
so
first.
the worst
Everyone gets
rating
their own
is the coach at 6th.
Wow. Dude, their coach is a nerd, though. Like, he is like a pencil neck nerd. Like, I don't know how that man is in a football locker room, like, and he's not getting wedgies constantly. Like, every time I see him on the sideline, I'm like, isn't that the guy the football team swirlies after the win? Like,
probably. So for team travel, 100% of the Dolphins players report that they have a comfortable amount of personal space on team flights. 1 of 2 with a perfect score.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. They must get first class.
Apparently. I mean, I've got to admit, though, I would have to think, though, that travel for an NFL team would have to be so hard, though. Having that many guys having to go.
And 53
like, at least with like NBA
guys.
and like baseball, you've got 15 and 26 guys.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to get those dudes on like 1 or 2 planes. Well, basketball, 15 guys on 1 plane is pretty easy.
I mean, honestly, that's when it becomes economical for a team to own a plane. Because it's like you get a 100-person plane and you can fit your whole staff on it. And that's kind of why I assumed they made accommodations for linemen, because I assumed that they had like a custom-built plane that like they just had wider seats in the coach area, and then there was first class with like reclining sheets and hot towels and shit.
I would assume, but I guess not.
First class. I've never been there.
I know.
Maybe they might have their own plane, but they just bought an old Spirit Airlines plane and just said, "Fuck it, that's your plane. Take it what you get, bitches."
You remember that Snoop Dogg movie Soul Plane?
I love Soul Plane.
That's the plane you need, man.
Thing was
the strippers
popping on.
and it pump up and down. God,
that was great.
I love that. We're traveling at 20,000 feet. Why are we at 20,000 feet? Redman ain't this high. What the hell's going on?
shit.
But anyways, moving along to the next segment of the Geeks and Greeks podcast, we come to the news section. Now, for you NFL fans, the owners' meeting was this week, and a couple of topics were voted on. The overtime rules that propose to make both teams allowed to have a possession was passed. But instead of a 15-minute overtime period, it was reduced to 10 to negotiate.
Lame.
Yeah, super lame. The refs will be getting a replay assistance.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Refs will now be given replay assistance to overrule objective calls. Replay could wipe out an incorrect foul, but it will not be used to throw a flag that was not originally called.
Which
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I still think the coach should be allowed to challenge the lack of a penalty. Like, if there's blatant pass interference and no flag is thrown, he should still be allowed to throw the flag. Maybe it doesn't come from New York because they can't, you don't want to micromanage the guys on the field, I suppose. But, like, at the same time, I think the coach should at least be able to throw the flag. But it's at least a compromise that's getting us somewhere there.
Yeah.
We're taking steps in the right direction now.
Finally.
Yeah.
Kickoff rules have been amended to touchbacks moving to the 35-yard line. Unfortunately, that passed.
Yeah.
Boo.
This year, in the 2024 season, 2 games were played on Christmas Day. So, if 2 are good, 3 must be better.
Of course.
So this year,
So long, basketball.
we have 3 games on Christmas.
Like, seriously, this is just the NFL just, like, taking candy from, like, the baby, man. Like, dude, leave Christmas alone. It's the NBA's game day.
All I can think of is that scene in Nightmare Before Christmas where they think Jack gets killed by the bombs. It's like, there goes Christmas.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, dude, football's not a Christmas Day game, man.
It is.
Leave it.
What day of the week is Christmas on this year? Do we know?
Oh.
Let me check.
Well, Pete checks on that. I will move on to the next one.
It's a Thursday.
That's fair. Thursday's a football day. Kick your basketball.
Not for 3 games.
Get out of here. Thursday's already our day. Basketball shouldn't be played on it. Get lost.
Dude, fuck you. Every day's a football day at this point.
I mean, yeah.
The Chain Gang has been relegated to a South Park meme with "They took our jabs."
Oh, no.
Hawkeye software and hardware has been used to replace the Chain Gang, setting the distance between gains and the first downs. But the refs will continue to spot the football, and the Chain Gang will remain on the sidelines as a backup. So they're just worshipping the robot overlords.
Why not?
I mean, it was bound to happen at some point.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I'm surprised it's taken this long. Because it's like, every time I hear them say that line on the TV show, the yellow line is not official, it's like, why?
Why
the
is it
technology has existed since like 1982. No, that's not true. But it's existed since like 2005. to make that yellow line official. Like, why is it 2025 we're finally getting it?
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct rule has been expanded to include the nose wipe gesture because
Good. COVID, bro.
because league executive Troy Vincent says that it's affiliated with gangs.
What?
Yeah,
It's affiliated with Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey, that's a gang, right?
I mean, fair. Those damn Frenchmen.
It's a European gang.
automatic first downs for defensive holding. It didn't pass. No details were disclosed. Just shot down, dead as a doornail.
Yeah.
Seeding the playoffs based on regular season record was tabled until May. The 18-game season was tabled till May. And the tush push ban got a lot of discussion, took up a lot of time of the owners' meeting, and was finally tabled till May.
Yep.
Bills coach Sean McDermott is an enormous child. When pressed about his reasoning to ban the tush push, he waffled like a Sunday breakfast, not stating any facts and simply saying, "I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to get deep into the situation." And I don't think it's really always the best way to go. He is saying this while with the fact that the Bills use the tush push more than any other team in the league except the Eagles. In response to the player safety allegations, the owner of the Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, stated,
"Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you."
Actually, he said there's no data shows that it isn't a safe play, else we wouldn't be pushing it.
I don't know. It's funny because Philly radio is split between the analysts and the people calling in. The analysts are like, "Oh, the tush push is done and Philly is over," and then like the people are calling in and they're like, "We can still do it, even if they write it into the rules. We'll just do it anyway." Like, what we got to do? Just wait a second. All right, so he'll just count one Mississippi and then go. It's like, what? Like, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Just go back to the quarterback sneak. He'll still make it in.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But, like, it's funny because, like, the announcers, the analysts are all like, "Yeah, I don't know. Philly loses this. They're losing 5 guys on the defense. They're losing Dallas Goedert. They're losing something else." And it's like, I don't know. I still think the Philly's going to be a contender. They didn't win because of the tush push. Like, it's such a ridiculous statement.
All right, now, Pete, the Eagles have to give up one of their touchdowns in that Super Bowl blowout. That made all the difference.
All the difference. And you know what? They don't even have to give it up. They just have to turn around and hand it off to Saquon Barkley instead of giving it to Jalen Hurts. Let's be honest here.
Now, to give you context, the tush push ban would require 24 teams to all vote to ban the tush push. Right now, on record, we have 5 teams that are officially in favor of banning it, and they're all giant children. 16 teams officially against the ban, and 11 teams that have not weighed in yet. Regardless of how those 11 go, they don't have the numbers, but yet they still tabled it. And this is where I put on my tinfoil hat, and I say that there is speculation that Roger Goodell is in favor of the ban. And when he saw that he didn't have the votes, he deliberately tabled it for 1 month. I don't know what he's going to do in that 1 month, but it's shady as shit, and I don't trust him.
I don't get it. Why would he not want the ban?
I don't know.
Or why would he want it, rather? I don't know. It's a great move.
I mean, honestly, I don't know why he would even care. He works for the owners.
Right.
Yeah.
He should want to keep his job, and therefore, if the majority of the owners don't want to ban it, then let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at right now, they say 16 teams, that's half, are in favor of not banning the tush push. So even if all 11 are in favor of it, then...
So the only teams that are in favor of banning it are the analytics-driven children coaches that can't figure out how to stop it.
Right.
Which is San Francisco, Green Bay, and then Buffalo. I can't think of the other two. I think Miami's in there too.
Which is
Detroit
really funny because
too, right?
Buffalo used it almost as often as Philly did. So why
They can't stop it on defense.
So much they have their own name for it. The snowplow. Like,
Is that just because Josh Allen's white?
is that
yeah,
racist?
it has
feels
nothing
racist.
to do with them being in Buffalo and it being one of the snowiest cities in the country. Nothing.
Heck. All right. And that brings us to the final piece of news. This is the beginning of workout programs for new coaches. Now, I say new coaches because new coaches get a 2-week head start on the existing coaches because they've got to kind of establish a rapport with their team and get things started, while the rest of the coaches have to wait till the 21st of April to start their workout sessions. I don't know if that matters, but hey, that's the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of fair if you have to install new systems with your players. And honestly, I'm not even sure how many even show up because it's not mandatory, is it?
I don't know. They just said the workout
So-
programs.
Yeah, they're just workouts. I mean, how many guys are even going to show up to it?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how much more of it is just like come in and set up your desk. You know, that sort of stuff. Here's an extra 2 weeks to get settled.
So, I mean, I've got no issue with it. I'm sure, I mean, obviously if they passed it, then the other owners must not have had too much of an issue with it either.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think that's about time for us on this episode, though. So we'll move on into final thoughts after this. Any parting words of wisdom, gentlemen?
If you did not watch Monday's Raw in London, I suggest going at least watching the Cena promo because he turned the crowd on Cody Rhodes for like a good 2 minutes, which was impressive. It was a damn good promo.
I did see that promo.
Yeah.
And this promo made me miss John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I hated John Cena for a lot of his, like, for a good amount of his time, like, seeing this promo was like, dude, this is why we loved John Cena for a while.
Yeah.
Because of his ability to do this.
His best line in the whole thing was, "I built an empire for a billionaire. All you ever did was steal from his children." It was just like, damn.
Wow.
I love the line where he said, once the real champ comes home and takes the title from WrestleMania, go to Fangraphs and go get yourself a toy belt like the rest of the fans in the crowd.
Yeah, that was great too.
Oh my gosh.
Damn. Yeah, it was so good. He really did do a great promo.
Savage.
And this is also why people wanted to see Cena turn heel. Just the way they did it was terrible.
Yeah, the way they did it was awful. But they got me with this one. It's such a good promo.
It just shows he still has it and can still do it.
It's true. It's true.
So, my final thoughts, I have to say congratulations to Denny Hamlin for winning the Cookout 400 and breaking a 31 race losing streak. Well done, you. Congratulations to Carolyn Pickens of the University of Tennessee for setting the NCAA women's softball record for the fastest pitch at 78.2 miles per hour. I wish I could throw that fast. And for the University of Maryland for getting Kermit the Frog to have their commencement speech. To be fair to the University of Maryland, they thought they were talking to Patrick Mahomes.
So, no, when you said you wish you could throw that faster, you mean a baseball or a softball?
Anything. I wish I could throw at 78 miles an hour. That would be my goal.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I have no desire to throw anything at 78 miles an hour. Like, I like sports and stuff, but no, I'm good on throwing. I'd rather be able to run like 21 miles an hour. Like that'd be me. Give me a wide receiver position. I don't want to be the quarterback.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to say good luck to the next F1 weekend to Yuki Tsunoda. He's taking over for the Red Bull in the second seat for Red Bull as Liam Lawson got 2 races and they've already outed him, which is just mind-boggling and unfortunate. I don't understand it. But he's also racing in his home GP of Japan, so that'll also be entertaining and fun to watch. So always love watching the Japanese Grand Prix on that one. So that'll be fun. And baseball is back, and it's in its first couple weeks, so it's fun to watch at this point because it's only in the first couple weeks of baseball.
We'll have to talk about that next time.
Yeah,
foreshadowing.
We've had some interesting games so far already. So Yankees are already accused of cheating, and MLB is already defending them. So
yeah, it's a good time.
The Yankees and their torpedo bats are already breaking MLB records, and fans are already in uproars about it.
Yeah, but 3 other teams have already placed orders for them.
Yeah, because MLB's already like, nah, they're fine. I know what you're talking about.
Everybody else is just
We're good.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy season.
It'll definitely be interesting. All right, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Don't forget you can also find us on Geeks and Greeks on Facebook at Geeks and Greeks. You can also reach us by email at geeksandgreeks365@gmail.com. May the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. Later.
See ya.
Peace.